Hello YouTube, welcome to my video, The Spectacular Zelda Summer of 2019, where I'll be discussing all of the incredible achievements and discoveries that have been brought about during this summer. This video will cover the discoveries in roughly chronological order, and will attempt to showcase how incredibly important each of these last few months have been for the Zelda speedrunning community. So without further ado, let's jump right into it with Reverse Bit Magic and Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. Skyward Sword found its first major breakthrough this July with the discovery of Reverse Bit Magic, which allows for very major sequence breaking. BIT is an acronym for Back in Time, which is a glitch that is in Twilight Princess, Wind Waker, and Skyward Sword, which allows the player to take control of Link during the title screen. This glitch has different outcomes and properties in each game, and turns out to be very useful in Skyward Sword. I will not be getting into the technical details, since this glitch is incredibly confusing and complex. However, if you would like to learn more about Reverse Bit Magic, I would check out Gymnast86's video on the subject. This glitch allows for flags that are used in non-Skyloft maps to be set on other maps. This allows you to skip a number of things: the Loranyu mining facility, Sandship, Clawshot Trials, and the Song of Hero quest. This quest comprises the last third of the game and includes getting the Song of Hero from 4 different sections. These skips also allow for the claw shots, the bow, and the gust bellows to be skipped entirely. In total, Reverse Bit Magic saves around an hour and a half from the speedrun, cutting the world record time from a 3 hour and 47 minute run to a 2 hour and 10 minute run. Up next is Barrier Skip for Wind Waker SD. It cannot be overstated how amazing this discovery is. It is definitely a contender for being the most important and prestigious trick to ever be found in all of speedrunning history. For 16 years, this trick has been under intense study from many of Wind Waker's top glitch hunters. However, many thought it to be impossible without the use of item sliding, which is only available in Wind Waker HD. Nothing had ever worked, that is, until this past July, when Dragonbane discovered that through dynamic memory exhaustion, it would be possible to unload the barrier by creating too much junk in the memory for it to load. He tested his theory and it ended up working. 16 years later, and Barrier Skip is finally possible. In the video being shown, Barrier Skip is achieved through spawning arrows that will not despawn, causing the remaining memory to be too small to spawn the barrier. There is, however, a newer strat that fills up the memory quicker, which involves super swimming back and forth between 2 different islands, which fills up the memory even faster. This glitch has brought down the time for Wind Waker SD almost 2 hours, and who knows how low the any percent time can go. Only time will tell. Legend of Zelda Oracle of Seasons also found a new game-breaking glitch to skip to the final boss, Onyx, that works incredibly similar to Wind Waker SD's Barrier Skip. Before the final boss, there is a barrier that will send you back if you have not yet completed all the necessary requirements for being there. The event that starts this cutscene is normally loaded into a certain type of memory that normally holds interaction objects, and the hypothesis is that if we could fill up this memory, we would be able to walk right through the barrier since the event trigger for the cutscene would not load into memory. This was made possible through extremely precise work of duplicating roosters into memory. It is not enough to simply dupe the roosters, however, since if 2 roosters are on top of each other, let's say a duped rooster and a normal rooster, you will always pick up the rooster that is first in memory, when we only ever want to pick up the normal rooster, since we cannot dupe duped roosters. This means that we need to fill the memory with roosters from back to front. This is easily shown using a ROM hack of the game that replaces Link's hearts with the memory that shows interaction objects. Let's look at an example of how we manipulate where the roosters get loaded into memory. The season banner at the top left-hand side of the screen, the dirt flying out of the dirt piles, and the clank of the boomerang all count as interaction objects. Using the banner, the 2 dirt piles, and the clank from the boomerang, we can screen transition to the right, loading the rooster into the 5th slot in memory. We then dupe the rooster by frame perfectly picking up the rooster on the same frame that the Gale Seed takes us away. To dupe the next rooster, we will do one less interaction than we did for the first one, and since the season banner is no longer there, we simply need to do the same 2 dirt piles and 1 boomerang clank to load the next rooster into slot 4. Once we have duped 4 times, we move to another area with a rooster and dupe that one many more times. Here's an example of the first dupe. We blow up 3 flowers, cut a bush, dig a hole, and clank the boomerang, which is 6 interaction objects. If we did it correctly, we should have loaded the rooster into the 13th slot in memory. Once we have finished, we head over to the area right before Onyx, and since we are missing 3 objects for the memory to be full, we simply do 2 dirt piles and a boomerang clank, and voila, we have made it into Onyx's castle and performed the barrier skip. This saves around 45 to 50 minutes and has taken the length of the run from an hour and 38 minute run to a 54-minute run. This next part is not really about a discovery, and more so just an amazing achievement that may be the last of its kind. Ocarina of Time's any % run was taken down below the 17-minute mark this July, and due to how optimized and well studied Ocarina of Time is, this may be the last time that the Ocarina of Time any % run is dropped below another minute milestone. From Torji's 1658, in order for a minute to be saved over the current route, something absolutely magical would need to be discovered that the community doesn't already know about. However, this is not extremely likely. This is Ocarina of Time though that we are talking about, and many people have said the same thing before me and have been proven wrong, so we will see as time goes on. Breath of the Wild also discovered a new glitch this past July, however it is not as useful as it may seem. The moon jumping glitch allows the user to gain infinite height from jumping, and it is very convenient that it lasts through essentially everything, even death or starting a new save file, and can be only turned off by mounting another horse. To perform the glitch, first head to the horse archery minigame and mount another horse by jumping off of your horse without touching the ground. As long as you are in the process of taming the horse when the timer runs out, the glitch will activate. After loading back in, simply warp anywhere else and take a few steps before the glitch becomes active. Hopefully this glitch will have some applications in the future, since right now it cannot be used to skip the plateau barrier and has limited usefulness in speedruns. The Legend of Zelda Minish Cap also received a new time save thanks to a new glitch that was discovered this July. Paraphrasing from Reddit user PPL Toast regarding the old route before this, the current state of the fastest route requires a one-shot frame-perfect trick or the run is dead. This is done to skip the power bracelets, an item required to push pots in one room of Palace of Winds. It was absolutely horrible to run, which is why the game became stagnant very quickly, only very few daring to grind for runs. This was the case until Solidified Gaming was messing around with an old glitch that makes Link face into glitchy diagonal angles by jumping out of holes placed around certain areas. While messing around in the Cave of Flames, the second dungeon of the game, he figures out that if you jump back into the hole with the diagonal angle, you're able to be launched diagonally out. He figured that it was probably useless, but it was still an interesting discovery. 30 minutes later, he realized that this actually lets you jump onto ledges diagonally. The catch is that the ground tile above you and the 2 tiles to the side have to be open. This way you get launched diagonally up the ledge, making you reach a higher layer of ground in the 2D plane. This essentially lets you walk in the air. This allows you to skip the boss key, saving around 1 minute over the normal route. A few runners quickly realize that the room in the Palace of the Winds, where you'd normally need the power bracelets, contains these same holes and also a ledge. Upon being tested, it was discovered that it worked. PPL Toast continues, "It was so hard to believe, this tiny little trick being another method to skip the bracelets. Not only is it much easier to do, it's also faster than the old method too. the best of both worlds. All in all, it brought the world record down about 5 to 10 minutes since it has been discovered. Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, the counterpart to Ocarina of Time, also found its big break this August. It has been known for a while that it is possible to warp into the debug menu, however it took far too long and was not viable for an any percent run. With this new innovation, however, it is possible to enter the debug menu by only playing the Song of Soaring 73 times right before the Deku Palace. This changes a value in memory called the soar index to have a value of 73, which is needed for the debug menu to open. Once the debug menu is open, you can give yourself practically anything in the game you might possibly need, including boss remains, and then head straight to Majora in order to finish the game. This has brought the completion time down 20 minutes from the old world record of an hour and 15 minutes to 51 minutes. This glitch has obviously come with controversy since many claim it goes against the nature of the any percent run to run this way. However, since there is no external hardware being used and only an official copy of the game and a controller, it is likely to not be banned, or at the very least a separate category will be made. Thank you for watching my video. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to like and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day.